If your blood pressure is 130 or 80 and you think you're doing great, think again. Hi, I'm Dr. Reddy. Welcome to our show. Today I'll be talking about high blood pressure. What is the importance of high blood pressure? What is the importance of keeping your blood pressure under control? And what is the one thing that you need to focus on to keep your blood pressure under control, and what number should it be? And if your blood pressure is not at that number or lower than that number, what are the long-term repercussions and how does it impact your brain? Learn more about it in this segment now. There was an article today which talked about brains. They found that people who had high blood pressure tend to have dementia much earlier than people who had normal blood pressure. Then they wanted to see how much of a difference there was in actual blood pressure. So what they found was, even if your blood pressure was 130, when you compare a group of people with a blood pressure 130 to a group of people whose blood pressure was 110 systolic, I'm not talking about the diastolic, I'm only talking about the upper number systolic. People in a group where the blood pressure was around 130, their brains were 6 months older than the brains of someone whose blood pressure was 110. When we consider blood pressure, we always say, oh, as long as your blood pressure is less than 140, you're okay, but ideally it should be less than 130, but perfection is less than 120. But now look at this. People who had a blood pressure 110 had a better protection of their brains compared to people whose blood pressure was 130, 140. Then the next question comes back is, why is it that we don't aim to get everybody's blood pressure less than 110? Well, they did multiple studies, and when they tried to be aggressive with blood pressure management to keep the blood pressure less than 110, guess what happened? Most of them had problems with hypotension, and some of them actually passed out with low blood pressure, and when they passed out, they hurt themselves by breaking their hip or breaking their bones due to the fall. So then they said, okay, you know what, let's not be as aggressive in controlling the blood pressure. Let's be more liberal. Let the blood pressure be a little high as long as they're less than 140. So all along, we've been thinking that as long as your blood pressure is less than 140, you're okay. But this study proves otherwise, meaning what? If your blood pressure is even at 130, that may not be the right thing for you 20 or 30 years down the road. Why? High blood pressure, contrary to popular belief, will actually decrease blood supply to the brain. Here is the brain with good blood supply when the blood pressure is 110. And here's the brain where the blood pressure is 130, 140, 150, 160, but you see the brain looks pale. That means the arteries are in a vasoconstriction mode. So when you look at the arteries closely, they look like they've been pruned. So when you decrease blood supply to the brain and you consistently decrease blood supply to the brain over years, what happens? You start having microscopic or micro infarcts in the brain, which also leads to shrinkage of brain, which also leads to dementia down the road. And it's always a silent process. That's why high blood pressure is called a silent killer. But this was the first time you actually have evidence showing that when your blood pressure is over 110, you are actually aging your brain. And it's amazing that the difference between 20 points of 110 to 130 showed a 6-month difference in the aging of the brain. Now remember, you may say, oh, it's only 6 months. Think about it. When you're 3 years old, 6 months difference is not a big difference. But when you're 75 years old and you have a 6-month difference in age for the brain, that's a big difference in recollecting your memories, recounting facts, remembering names, finding your way back home, having a meaningful discussion with your friends. All those things are very important, and if you're aging faster than your age, think again. So coming back to the primary point, what is it? Always try to keep your blood pressure as low as possible. I'm talking about the upper number, as long as you don't have symptoms of dizziness or lightheadedness. 2, your aim should not be, how do I take medications to keep the blood pressure under control? Your goal should be, what am I doing wrong? Find out what you're doing wrong, correct what you're doing wrong, and get your blood pressure under control. Usually there are about 10 to 12 culprits which cause your blood pressure to go up, but I'm going to discuss the common 5. 1 being sleep apnea. 2 is salt sensitivity. 3 is stress, chronic stress. 4 is daily alcohol intake. 5 is caffeine intake. These are the 5 usual suspects. The other suspects include white coat syndrome. It could be kidney problems. It could be adrenal problems. It could be smoking. It could be also be medications and certain supplements that can raise your blood pressure. It could be chronic pain. So any of these can also cause your blood pressure to go up. But by and large, when you look at 90% of patients who come into the office, in my office, I'm not talking about the world, in my office, what I found was majority of them fall in these 5 categories. Either it's sleep apnea or chronic stress, or combination of sleep apnea, chronic stress and caffeine intake, or salt sensitivity, or combination of all these with daily alcohol intake. When I turned 50, my blood pressure started going up to 140, 135. Then I started correcting my sleep apnea using the CPAP machine. It dropped. Then I started taking Vascepa. Interestingly, when I started taking Vascepa, guess what happened? My blood pressure now, even when I'm under stress, when I'm running from patient to patient, when I have a busy clinic, when I check my blood pressure, every time it's always less than 110. And there are times I've seen my blood pressure systolic being 94, 95. Meaning what? Even close to age 60, if I'm having a blood pressure of 100 to 100 systolic, what is the secret? 1 is if you have sleep apnea, correct it. 2, Vascepa, I've seen, actually also helps in dropping the blood pressure another 10 to 20 points. How does Vascepa help? Well, point is simple. Vascepa improves the endothelial lining of the arteries, and endothelial lining are the cells which are responsible for dilating the arteries. And when the arteries dilate, what happens to blood pressure? It drops. So if you want to change your lifestyle and diet and incorporate Vascepa and correct your sleep apnea, what happens to your blood pressure? It automatically drops. So once again, what is normal blood pressure? 110 over 70. Should I worry about the lower number? Absolutely not. Should I keep my upper number less than 110? Yes. So your objective should be, how do I keep my blood pressure less than 110 without medications? That's the goal. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do like it, please subscribe to our video and please send this video to as many people as you know. Our goal is to help as many people understand the significance of high blood pressure, the importance of keeping the blood pressure under control, and that there is a way to get the blood pressure under control. Once again, if you liked this video, please subscribe to it and share this with your friends and family. Thank you.